Hello, kindness friend. You ever sit down to be present? Maybe even try a little mindfulness or meditation, and then 3 seconds later, your brain's already thinking about lunch, your inbox, or that one weird comment someone made yesterday. Or maybe you start with good intentions, but suddenly you're 10 minutes deep in your thoughts without even noticing. Yeah, I've been there too, and it made me wonder, why is it so hard for so many of us to stay present? In today's world, our minds are pulled in hundreds of directions. Notifications, headlines, to-do list, even our own inner chatter. It's like the moment we pause, everything else speeds up. But here's something I've learned. Presence isn't about perfect focus. It's about gently returning again and again. I see this in my own life all the time because as a parent, sometimes I catch myself saying something harsh to my kids, not because I mean it, but because I've carried stress from work or some other areas into that moment that I'm spending time with my kid. Maybe you can relate to that gentle return that I described really matters because it's what helps me catch myself. And that awareness, that noticing, gives me the power to choose a better way forward. You know, our minds are built to think, to plan, to solve problems, to imagine our futures, to imagine what we want to be. So when we sit still, our brain, our mind, it doesn't just shut off. Thoughts will come, and that's not a failure. That's just being human. What matters is what we do when we notice we've drifted. Like I said earlier, that moment with my kids is just one example, but it applies everywhere. Let's say you commit to an exercise routine, then one day you feel lazy. You don't feel like doing it. But if you're present and self aware, you notice that urge, that thinking that you want to quit, you don't want to participate, and then consciously you still choose to follow through anyway. That presence in action, that's gently returning that I just described. And it is incredibly empowering. Every time we notice we've lost in thought, that moment of noticing is awareness. It means we've returned and now we get to choose. Do we get frustrated or do we come back gently? That's our choice. That's our conscious choice. For me, I return to something simple, the breath. And we can practice together and I'll share with you what I usually do. Here's what I do. If I sit down and I bring back using the breath, bring back to the present using my breath, here's what I do. I notice the air going in through my nose and out through my nose. Sometimes feeling this spot that air touches, so nothing really fancy. Just being with the breath because it always accompanies us. Our breath is our best buddy. And sometimes I place a hand on my dantian. Dantian is the lower space beneath our belly button, a few inches down, and then a few inches inward. Okay. So I will breathe into that space. And even just like a few breath like that can bring me back. So let's take a moment. How about to do that together? Okay. I put my hands here and inhale, exhale, inhale. One more. So simple, right? So you will notice if you practice using your breath to come back to the present, uh, when you're able to do that, everything slows down. and you increases the chance that you can choose consciously. I'll share with you another examples. Like other times, I'll take a slow walk in the neighborhood, you know, not to get to somewhere, but to simply be, to embrace the present moment. So from my home, I can walk into a neighborhood that has clean walkways. The scenery is awesome. I think it was developed by some big real estate developer. Those houses were neatly built and then with complementary color tones. And I simply appreciate just by looking at them. And when I walk there, I can feel each step, like left and right, and how my feet contact the ground. I hear the birds. I notice the wind on my skin, the warmth of the sun on my arms. All these moments won't fix everything, but they bring me back to now. And I can promise you that makes a difference. That really matters. So, like I said, awareness and being present is not really perfection. Okay. So staying present doesn't mean never drifting. It means actually noticing when we drift and returning back with kindness. The goal isn't perfection. It's really about practicing, using those moments to practice. Every return is a success. Every return builds your capacity for awareness, and every breath is a doorway. And I think every pause is a gift. So if you ever wonder, why can't I stay present? I guess maybe a better question is, can I return without judgment? So I hope we can walk this path together gently, breath by breath. And if this helped you in any way, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to subscribe our channels because that can really help us to grow and get the information to more and more people. And if you'd like to explore more, check out the other videos here on our Hello Kindness channel. Let's grow this space together. See you next time. Thank you.